Do I have a,
I motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second it.
Kathy, take the vote, please?
Ms. Brooks?
Yes.
Yes
Yes.
or nay? Okay. Mr. DeZerman?
Yes.
Mr. Friesen?
Yes.
Mr. Nattasi?
Yes.
Mr. Abathera?
Yes. Next one will be the first case. Our first case is a variance request for 4075 Chestnut Hill Drive for Catherine Getz.
Correct. Thank you.
Dominic, would you tell us about this, please?
Yes, sir. So as you stated, we have a fence request for variance, and the address is 4075 Chestnut Hill Drive. The applicant, Ms. Catherine Getz, is here. This property consists of an irregularly shaped, three-sided lot, and according to the City of Troy zoning ordinance, it qualifies as a corner lot with front lot lines along both Chestnut Hill Drive and Adams Road. The property is located within the R1A zoning district, which requires a front setback of 40 feet along both Chestnut Hill Drive and Adams Road. The petitioner is seeking a variance for the installation of a new wood privacy fence, which would be 6 feet in height and placed 1 foot away from the Adams Road property line. The fence is proposed to run 75 feet along Adams Road and return 39 feet back toward the northwest corner of the house for a total length of 114 feet in the Adams Road front yard setback, which is situated at the rear of the house. And that requires, where it's situated, requires a 30-inch high fence it's restricted to. Of the total 150 feet of fence requested, 36 feet of fence complies with the zoning regulations and does not require a variance. And I would like to move to, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm sorry, you were going to say something?
I was going to go to a couple slides here. Unless
Okay,
you're-
sure.
Unless you're good.
Nope.
Okay. So I'm going to go here. So you can see highlighted the property in question. And I'm just going to drop down to, for a little clarification, you can see the property outline. The red lines indicate the fence that would be not in compliance with the zoning ordinance, and in the green does meet zoning ordinance requirements.
Okay. I have a question for you. Do you want more slides? First on this one is, where's their backyard at?
Well, that's the tricky part about this lot.
Okay.
Being only 3 sides, there is no designated rear yard.
So we have a front yard that's on Chestnut Hill.
Correct.
We have a front yard that's on Adams.
Correct.
And we have a side yard that's between the two.
That's correct.
Okay. So is that in our ordinance that calls it that way? That when it's a three-sided, it's a front and a back, or?
Well,
How's that?
according to the ordinance, on a I would consider this a triangular lot. The rear yard is really just an imaginary line, the way the ordinance is written, that's parallel to the front road line. And I believe the minimum is 10 feet would be the requirement, but it's all within the property.
Okay, all right. Does anybody have any questions for Dominic?
I do. Just for context, understanding the uniquity of this lot, for 4045, for as context, this, as that was be clearly a rear yard in this location, right? The adjacent lot?
Well, it would be a double frontage lot, technically, the 4045, which again has a front on Adams and Chestnut Hill Drive.
It would consider the Adams side a front yard also?
That would have to, yes, the Adams side would have to coordinate with the zoning ordinance for front yards, correct? As far as setbacks.
Okay.
The same puzzlement you do. But
Yeah, I'm trying to think of our other people have come in. If we had, when they back up to a major road like that, we don't call it a front
Yeah.
on both sides, like the last one we had.
I think we've called those rear yards. Understand the uniquity because the side, there's no neighbor to the other side, but
No, you know what? The last one had 3 sides that were fronts. because it was on the corner, at the front on the side street, the front on the side street, and the front on Livernois. That last one. Okay,
The last one, yes.
yes, okay. All right, anybody else have any more questions for Dominic? No? Is the petitioner here? Would you like to come up and state?
Can I bring my dad?
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you both please sign in, ma'am?
Yes,
Both
will you
of
both sign in, please?
And this is my dad, James.
Okay.
So,
If you want to go ahead and tell us why.
well, it is because I do have 2 front yards. My bedroom backs up to Adams Road. It is very loud. It is very, very loud. We have a lot of traffic that goes through there. Cars zooming at all hours of the night, and so we were hoping some of that will curb some of that noise. I also have 2 dogs. We have them out on a run, but it would be much nicer if they had a little bit more enclosed area. And with the back of my house, it's my 2 kids' bedrooms. We have our kitchen there with, a slider door. So it's just exposed to the whole entire world. And although it's nice to be able to look out and look at Adams, sometimes it's like you want just a little bit of privacy, and it's just not there.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for the petitioner?
I guess I do.
Go ahead.
So it was indicated that the fence would be planned at 1 foot from the Adams property line. It currently has trees and shrubs.
It does have some, there's almost a crazy line where there is absolutely no trees, just right at that property line. And my neighbors at 4045, they do have a fence because they have a pool. So theirs is the low fence, and so
It's 4 feet.
4 feet, whatever that. And that goes around, and so we would just match up with her fence. On that one side.
6 foot, correct?
I wanted, on the back and the sides, I wouldn't change our side next to hers, but just on my property side, it would be, we were looking for those wood fences that would be a little higher.
A 6-foot wood fence? Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I measured from their fence, the neighbor's fence, to the street, and it was 42 feet to the edge of the street.
Okay.
So the proposal's for 1 foot from the property line, inward from the property line, is it?
No.
Am I right by saying that?
That's correct, yes.
From the rear,
So 1
From
foot.
the Adams Road.
Adams
property line,
Road, from
correct.
their property line, it's 1 foot in
1
from
foot
that,
in
correct?
from there,
Okay.
On this diagram, we're seeing is 75 feet from the center of the road, right? Center of Adams, that's what I'm
Well,
reading there.
that's the length of
Yeah,
fence.
that's the length. That's the length. So from the road
Yeah.
to where the fence would be 42.
Be 42 feet, yeah.
Yeah, the 75 is not how far off.
Yeah, no, I see it now, I see what it is.
Okay.
That would be awesome if I had that much property.
Do we know do we have any applications or permits that were pulled for the fence at 4045 that was put in place?
I did not look into that.
It's been there a long time.
It's 30 inches, so it's,
You said it was
oh,
more than
it's
4
4.
foot.
But it's a
Any more
pool.
questions?
It's a pool, so I think it has to have a
It's
fence,
just a chain link fence?
chain link.
Okay. Any more questions for the applicant?
And you said on the one side of the neighbor where the chain link fence is, you're not
We will not change that, it'll stay.
you're just matching up the fence up to there?
Correct.
Right,
Yep.
Okay.
And sorry, the proposal you were asking for is what type of fence? Is it a wood?
I would like the wood
Okay.
fence.
Any more questions? All right, you can have us sit down, please.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Dominic, I have a couple questions for you. First is, further to the north, there's a couple wood fences on the houses. Do you know of any of those had permits that were pulled?
Again, I did not look into those
Okay.
other properties.
And then the other question is the 4-foot chain link next door. They have a pool, so they have to have a fence. Are you allowed to put a 4-foot chain link fence to the property line in the rear yard on double front side?
4-foot chain link, not without a variance.
So they need to come here also for the same thing if they put a 4-foot chain link.
Correct, because 30-inch high
Is the
is
maximum height.
the max for.
Even with a
for-
pool?
For a front. Well, pool requires 4 feet minimum
Right.
for
That's what
height.
he's- So they have a pool.
They have a pool.
So
Did they get a variance? I'm not sure. I did not look into that property.
And one last question, is do we know the distance from the back of their house to the property line at Adams Road? It looks like it might be like 39 plus 13, like 42.
I don't
52
know
feet.
that dimension.
Is there a way to use the little? To me, it looks like it might be like 52 feet, because we got 39 feet of one fence.
That seems light, though. I don't know. If you look at the pictures, it looks like a lot deeper, but I don't know.
Well, no, because Adams' property, I drove by, the property line is way back. You know, I drove down
Oh.
Adams.
It's a large right-of-way on Adams.
Yes, it's got to be 120
oh,
feet.
okay.
Oh, well, yeah, it's a
I see
120
what you're
right away.
Okay.
And 52?
53, you think? 52 feet?
Okay. So, I mean, in my mind, they have zero backyard if they had to have double front ends and a fence put in, where they couldn't even put a pool in with a 4-foot chain link fence.
That'd be helpful.
And I don't know, is there any plans to put a sidewalk down Adams Road? Frank, maybe you might know that. Is there any thoughts of a sidewalk going down Adams? Because if it is, we're still off the right of way. We don't have to worry about it.
I think that, oh,
I haven't heard anything about
Okay.
that.
All right. I mean, there's not one for the whole mile, so I can't believe they're gonna come in and.
isn't
cut
there one
trees
on the
down.
Bloomfield side, though?
Yes.
Yeah, there's one on the other side of the street.
Yep.
Yeah, the Bloomfield side has.
There is, yeah, there's one on the opposite side of Adams, so there's a
Yeah.
sidewalk over there, but
Okay.
I don't know what the requirements of having on both sides or not, but. I'm sorry, I didn't have a chance to go visit this personally, but you said you drove by. You witnessed other wood fences that
Absolutely.
were
To the north.
There is one
to the north?
There's
In
one
the same
block
neighborhood?
and a couple down, there's more.
Yep.
That would be my only concern, is it looked, because I know this area, in these older homes in this Troy side, and they don't, it wasn't apparent that I remember there being a lot, but if you witnessed that.
They are similar to this. They're significantly back from the road, so they're not
They're not
right in your
noticeable.
face if you're
Yes.
driving up the road. You
And
have
that's
to be looking
why.
for it.
All those privacy fences are side yards. And that doesn't matter, right? Could you put a side yard wood fence?
Yes.
Yeah, there's
So this-
23 feet on
If
this
Adams
one.
was considered a side road, you could put a privacy fence on there, correct? If this was a four-sided house,
With
a
the
four-sided lot,
four-sided lot, still with Adams on the backside?
well,
If the house was turned 90 degrees,
yeah,
and that we considered Adams to be the side, right? You wouldn't need the variance.
Well, it's, because it's a road, it's still considered a front yard.
I think
So
Well-
that wouldn't change from
because it's a
understanding.
three-sided lot. But if it was a four-sided, say up by Butternut there where Butternut meets Adams, it was a 30-foot straight line across there, so then it'd be four sides on their property.
Okay.
This would then be considered a side yard, I think.
Technically.
Well, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
feel
so
like-
my point is those other fences are on side yards where I almost look at this as a side yard because it's such a curved road. It goes from a front to a side all in one road. I personally have no issues with putting a fence like they want there.
I appreciate that driving through the neighborhood, that it was pretty open, and that this proposal is not to encompass that upper triangular part. It leaves it open, it leaves, we're not discussing what we normally discuss. Do we
Safety.
have viewpoints, and are we blocking a sidewalk? I mean, those are all concerns that we usually bring up, and this is, I think, a minimal impact into that development, so. It looks
When I
good.
first drove by, I thought they wanted to go all the way out to the point and across. I'm like, oh, well, this is gonna be.
I know.
So,
And then I went back to the proposal, I was like, oh, okay.
anybody else have more comments for us?
No, I generally agree with what you're saying, but just a quick question, just for context again. If this was a backyard, understand it's not a backyard. This fence is compliant with all the requirements of a backyard, 6 foot high, obscuring,
Yes.
whatever would be fine if it was a backyard.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what I was asking her, sorry.
Right.
Right. Threw me off the side.
And I think Teresa had the same opinion you did, is it was this could have been a much greedier ask, and it was a pretty reserved,
Yes.
conservative ask, so I agree.
Any more comments from anybody? Somebody want to put a motion forward?
Can I ask one question before you go?
Okay.
How long, okay, so because it's December,
Do you mind coming up to the,
sorry.
that's okay.
And I apologize, I should have asked this when I was up there. Because it's December and it's getting cold, how long would the variance last? Just, is it something I should go do right away, or can I postpone it till March or April when it gets warmer?
No, there would be 1 year.
1 year, okay. I just wanted to double check. Thank you so much, I'm sorry.
And once the fence is in, it runs with the land forever, correct?
The variance?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
It's transferable from
Yes.
owner to owner.
All right, anybody want to put a motion forward?
I'll go ahead. Motion that the variance be granted for the exceptional characteristics of the property. Sorry.
Page 1.
I know, I was just trying to read the item A, item B. Characteristics are not of a personal nature, compliance were not created by the owner, and will not be harmful or alter the essential character of the area. So all A, B, C, D, and E, all 5 characteristics. Sorry,
Were you able to get all that, Kathy?
I'm fine with it, thank you.
You've gotten good at putting together our mess. Appreciate it.
Anybody want to second that?
I will second the motion.
Kathy, can I get you to take the vote, please?
Sure will. Mr. DeZerman,
Yes.
Mr. Friesen.
Yes.
Mr. Nastasti,
Yes.
Mr. Apithera.
Yes.
Ms. Brooks,
Yes.
motion carries.
You're all set.
Thank you so much, I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. All right, next one I'm going to move to is communications. Do we have any communications today? No?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. No.
No, all right. Next one will be public comment.
Forgot about that one.
You were supposed to remind me. Is there any public comment on other things other than this? And did we get any letters from any neighbors?
I never saw anything, no.
Okay. Normally we have them in front of us. So, okay. Well, we'll remember next time. Seems there's no public comment today. Any miscellaneous business? Nothing?
Introductions?
Okay, well, let me ask, Dominic, are you taking over for Salim now? Will you be doing all our meetings, or will Salim be doing them?
Salim is actually having us do some training to
Okay.
get Tom and I both incorporated into these meetings, yes.
Okay. Does everybody know Tom and Dominic?
We do not.
Do now?
Okay. Dominic, I can't remember your last name.
Abate,
Abate, he's in the building department as the plan review. inspector.
residential plan review, correct.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think you guys all met Tom before. Tom Capuso is the assistant head building inspector? Deputy building? Okay. So hopefully we'll see you every month. And I think that's it. And then we're adjourned.